Hey guys, good afternoon. It's me, Cali. Today I am super excited to be introducing a new mixed media inspiration challenge. I've created one using my mixed media inspiration deck from Kiala Givehand, as well as a pair of dice. I'll put links to Kiala's information below this video. Please check her out. She's an amazing inspirational artist. And you can also play along using your own inspiration sticks or prompts that you have on your own. Each month I'm going to join you here and we're going to roll the dice. And as long as it's above the number 4, we're going to pull that many cards each month. And based on those card prompts, we're going to create a journal page. This is the page that I created for this month's prompts. And I hope you'll stick around and I'll show you how I did it. And let me know what you think of this challenge, and if you're inspired, I would love to hear it. See you in a few minutes. Okay guys, before we get started, I'm going to show you what I do prior to each journal page that I do, and I'll do this for this challenge as well. I'm using my Delusions journal by Ranger. You can use any journal you want. I'm filling this one up, so we're going to start at the back. And all I do to prep my pages, and this is basic stuff, I take some masking tape. I've already done this here, and I lay it down the center, and that prevents any bleeding to the pages behind it. I'll also add a piece of wax paper behind it here, try to prevent any mess. And I've put down a layer of gesso. Now gesso is just a primer. You could use white acrylic paint if you want, or you can leave the page blank. I like to use it. It provides a smooth surface. It's good for the paints to adhere to, etc. So I'll be prepping all my pages prior to these challenges in this way. So I'll just tell you this time and then that'll be it. So this is still drying a little bit, and in the meantime, let's get started. And the first thing we're going to do is roll our dice. And like I mentioned before, anything below 4 we're going to do roll again. So let's see what we get. 7. So that is how many cards we're going to draw. I'm really excited to try this deck. Just going to give it a good shuffle. Wow, it's really stiff still. Okay. And you can use any, inspiration sticks or cards or prompts that you have on your own. I encourage you guys to play along. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going to keep them all a surprise. We're going to draw them one by one and do them in the order we draw them and see where we go. So, first one, include a tag, label, or envelope. Okay, let me get some supplies and I'll see you right back here. Okay, now I struggled with this prompt a little bit because a few reasons. Number one, tags, labels, and envelopes aren't something that I normally incorporate into my artwork. And number two, it would be something, if I were to incorporate it, that I would add it afterward. But that being said, I really gave it some thought and I decided to go with some, I had made some homemade label stickers a while back, and these are just labels that you get from, Staples or your stationery store. They're sticky on the back. And a lot of people do this. I've just sprayed inks on them and painted them and stamped them. And they're all a little bit different. And I looked at these and I thought, you know what? Let's kind of just throw these down on the background. And I think what I want to do is I'm just going to cut them down the middle to give me a little more to work with and also to make them a little bit smaller. So, alright, and I'm just going to throw these down, and I'm sure we'll be painting over things or, things like that, but do I want to, you know what, maybe, let's do a border, and then I can always come back and change it. Okay? So I'm just going to go around and yeah, I'm going to use all these up and border the page, and maybe I'll kind of spiral them in a little bit, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? So let me do this. I'm going to use as much of these as I can. Hopefully I have enough to go around, and I'll be back when that part's done. Okay guys, I went for it. I was going to just do the border, and I decided, what the heck, let's just go for it. I started to really overthink it when I was trying to make everything even, and I decided to just put the stickers down. Some of them are lifting up a little bit. The adhesion is not so great, so I may have to go over it with a coat of Mod Podge, possibly, but we'll see what's going to go on top of this. So let's just move to our next prompt, and I'm going to go just right in order and see what we have here. Use a crafty tool with paints or spray inks. So just as I thought, we will be covering this up. And in small print it says punchinella, doily, sponge, masks, mesh, plastic needle canvas, etc. So we're going to kind of do like stencils or something with some spray inks on top. That's really cool. Let me gather some supplies and I'll see you right back here. Okay, so let's go for it. I've decided to use some paint. I'm going to use my Americana multi-surface satin. This one is in true blue. So I just put that in my old palette dish. And I'm going to use a little spouncer spongy applicator. And we're going to apply it. I decided to use 2 pieces of punchinella. And for those of you who don't know, punchinella is the waste left over from making sequins. So these were sent to me in Happy Mail, and I'm actually going to put them on top of each other, and we're going to stencil through that. Okay? I've never tried this. I don't know how it's going to work. Let's give it a shot. So I have my little... Now, the secret to good stenciling, I think, is to not have so much paint. So we're going to attempt to not have so much. And I'm just going to kind of randomly go around. No idea what this is going to look like. We'll figure it out. Show you in a second. So let's see. Okay, pretty much big blotches. But that's alright. It is what it is. I've decided to do that and I'm sticking with it. So I'm going to continue. Maybe we'll just really lightly pounce it more. Okay, it is what it is. I'll see you back here when this is done. Okay guys, this is what it's looking like. Still drying a little bit. You can see a little more of the detail of the smaller punchinella as it's drying. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it either. Yeah, we're just going to let this dry and let's move on to our third prompt. Journal with a permanent pen. Okay, another challenge for me. It's something I don't normally do, is actually do writing in my artwork. So I'm going to get probably a white Sharpie or a white rollerball pen and come back when this is dry and do some journaling. See you in a second. Okay, I'm back with my trusty Signal Uniball pen in white, and I've decided to use some song lyrics. I've done this before. I'm going to use the song Thank You by Led Zeppelin, and I'm just going to write, I was going to get all circular with it, and I'm just going to basically just hope my pen works. And if the sun refused to shine, I would still be loving you. Okay, it's not showing up so great, but that's okay. It's showing up enough, and your journaling isn't necessarily meant to be read. So I'm going to cover the page with as many lyrics as I can fit down here, and I'll see you back here when that's done. Okay, that was good. I was able to fit most of the whole song on there, And I'll link the song below for those of you who aren't familiar with it. It's beautiful. So yeah, let's continue on with our next prompt, which is add a piece of your recycled art. Well, interesting. Let me go take a look and see what I got. See you in a minute. Okay, I went through my stash and I decided to use, this is a mixed media postcard that I had made. And it's just cardboard and stenciling and different layers, whatever. It's recycled art. So I'm going to attach that here. Yeah, we're going with it, guys. I'm going to use my Aleene's clear gel tacky glue. And this is, you know, not too thick, but looks like I made this in March of 2016. So almost a year old. Alright. Kind of center this a little bit. Looks a little small for my taste, but who knows, we may still be putting a border on this or whatever. These are fun to watch the pages develop, you know, totally out of my comfort zone. It's good, feels good. It's how you grow, right? Okay, let this dry. Interesting, kind of busy, right? And while that's drying, we might as well look at our next prompt. Oh, that's hilarious. Add doodles or text using a white pen or marker. It says fluorescent, glitter, or metallic pens markers are fun too. Well, being that we just did the lyrics with the white pen, I may in fact do that. I have a silver permanent marker. Yeah, or maybe I'll use my big Sharpie. Any of those I'll gather. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, I'm back with my white Sharpie this time. And I thought I would put some circles down. We have an awful lot of angles here, so I thought maybe this would soften it up. So I'm just going to use this template and draw in some random circles, and hopefully my Sharpie will cooperate, because sometimes they get very painty. But we'll see. So yeah, gonna lay down some of these kind of randomly all over, and see how that looks. I don't know. These are not my favorite paint markers. Sometimes they cooperate and sometimes they don't. This is looking very gray, but I'm going to continue on. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I'm afraid to push too much. They'll pool. Just go around those a little bit. Yeah. Why is that so gray? Alright. I'm going to just add a few more, I think. And let those dry, and I'll be back with the next prompt. Okay, I used my Sharpie, and I did use my Signo too, just to kind of outline around the butterfly and stuff. I got some splotches on the card accidentally, but I think it's cool. We're going to leave them. You know, I'm kind of meh about this page right now, but it's alright. We're not done yet. We still have, I think, 2 cards left, so let's see what our next one is. More paint. Use acrylic paint through a stencil. Lots of stenciling going on here. Maybe I can incorporate that border I'm looking for with some type of a stencil to just kind of draw this in tighter to the picture. This too much space around here is bothering me, so I think that's what I'm going to do, maybe with a real dark blue, or black. I could do black, I'm not sure. I'll be back with some paint and a stencil. Okay guys, I decided to go back to the stencil that I used on the postcard originally. It's an Andy Skinner stencil from Deco Art, and I'm going to use my Americana acrylic paint, also from Deco Art, in Lamp Black. And this time I'm going to use a little makeup sponge instead of a spouncer, so I have some in my palette dish, and I am going to kind of perfectly fits around as a border. So let's just go for this right now, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it here, and then I'll do the rest off camera. But there's only one prompt left, so I'm kind of excited. So let's just see. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this will look cool. And kind of ties in, obviously, what's going on the postcard. So it's not just out there floating in space. Although, isn't that nice? Okay, well, I'm going to get that, and I'll see you back here when this is done. Apologize for the interruption. I forgot to take the phone off the hook. Okay, in the meantime, I've finished, and I really kind of like it. What do you think, guys? I also took that sponge and just kind of nicked the edges of the page with the black paint to kind of shadow it in. I really like how it pulled together. There's hope for this page yet. So that being said, we are at our last prompt. I hope you've enjoyed this journey with me. We're going to do this every month. Oh my gosh. The theme of today's page is definitely stencil. Wow. Use spray inks through a stencil. I think I'm all stenciled out, but apparently I'm not. So let me gather up some spray inks and another stencil, and I'll see you in a second. Okay guys, I've decided to use my Big Delusion stencil, and anyone who knows me knows I can't get enough purple ever. This is a Deco Art Media Mister in purple, and I'm going to put a little paper towel over our postcard and make our page, which is pretty busy, just a little bit busier. So let's move these out of the way. These sprayers are touch and go. Sometimes they work really good, sometimes they don't. Let's see what we get. Alright, I think that's enough, don't you think? Let's see what we get. Okay, good. It didn't really affect anything too much. I think it did add a little bit of richness maybe to the page. Yeah, you can, I think it'll blend in more when it dries. So that is it, you guys. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this challenge. I hope that you're inspired to maybe try along. If not using my prompts, use the prompts of your choice. This is really cool. And shout out again to Kiala Givehand. I will put all her links below. And I will see you back here next month with another Dyson Deal challenge. So take care, guys. I'll insert some pics. See you soon.